I saw this event at Livestreams 10yo son.
What's the location of your emergency?
My son is unresponsive right now.
Is he breathing?
Yeah, but barely. And it smells real rotten. Now something's out in the nose.
He's like, Dad, help.
On December 13th,
What is all that?
2019, in Dayton, Ohio, 30-year-old Al McLean makes this 911 call after
Ohio.
realizing that his 10-year-old son, Dakota Collins, is us.
What's the location of your emergency?
Yes, my son is unresponsive right now.
Your son
And I need a,
Hold on. Okay, you said your son is unresponsive?
Yep.
Okay, how old is he?
He's a child with a lot of medical issues. So what he do is he'll just not have it.
Stop, just for a minute. How old is he?
He's 11 years old.
Okay.
In 3 days.
The following is based on official police records, and some of the footage has never been seen before.
It's an emergency, and he's just going to describe the illness.
Unresponsive, is he breathing?
Yeah, but barely.
We're going to go ahead and start CPR, okay? So keep him
And the guy looks calm as hell.
Here he is, okay?
Okay. He got something coming out of his mouth.
Okay, what's coming out? What do you think is coming out?
I'm not sure what it is. He won't stop at no cost.
Okay.
You all right?
Is he responding to it at all? Is he breathing?
It's hard to say. I see his eyes.
Okay, and what are his eyes doing? Like, are they moving? Is any part of his body moving?
No, they just still.
If you think his mouth is
now something coming out his nose. He's throwing up out his nose now.
Dispatch then instructs Al to begin CPR, but despite the seriousness of the situation, this is far easier said than done.
I'm blowing in his breath, and it smells real rotten in the inside of his stomach.
You're going to cover his mouth with your mouth. Go ahead.
Oh, my God.
Though Al
So I guess he's still alive.
perform mouth-to-mouth, he continues with chest compressions until emergency services and police officers arrive.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so you're doing a good job. Okay.
Here now.
Okay, go ahead and open the door for me.
While emergency services race to save Dakota, Al is asked to move to the front porch. Dakota is rushed to the Children's Medical Center. Tragically, once there, the 10-year-old is pronounced. However, this is just the beginning of the troubling revelations. As soon as officers arrived at Al's home, they made some disturbing observations, which were then confirmed by the medical staff who attempted to save Dakota's life.
What is this room?
Following these discoveries, Al was brought
clean your house
to the police station to answer questions regarding the circumstances surrounding his son's death.
Want to have a seat right here? In that blue chair? That blue chair right there. The lady's here to come talk to you. Gonna be cool? Yes, sir. Okay, man. All right.
What's going on? I'm Detective Sloth. Detective Press is going to be coming in a minute, too. Here we go. Okay.
Al was placed in handcuffs following an altercation that took place moments before this interview. While in another room, Al picked up a chair and began pounding on the door and walls with it. Officers told him to put the chair down, and when he failed to do so, they used force to subdue him and place him in the cuffs.
Have you ever been to race before?
Yeah.
You have? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can I please have some water? I ain't had water in 6-7 hours, please.
Yes. We'll get you water in 1 minute. Somebody might grab it. Yeah. Okay.
Following the incident with the officers, Al stated that he had an injury to his lip.
Just brought you some water. Can I get a photo on my lip? We'll take care of it. It's like you're drinking out of my lip hurting. That was good.
Once Al has had a satisfactory drink, the detective gets down to business.
We are going to be interviewing you in regards to the crime of a homicide. Okay.
That's like premeditated.
Homicide's kind of a catch-all for somebody that died more than likely not of natural causes. Make sense? So it kind of covers a lot of things. It could be...
I mean, he already knows.
I don't even know what my sharing. I still don't know. If you tell me what killed him or anything like that, you hear me?
Although Al claims that he was just told about Dakota, he had actually been given a grim update just moments after emergency services arrived at his home. This was only the beginning of the disconcerting things Al would say to investigate.
So he already knows and still asks the question.
Interrogation room, the detective begins reading him his rights.
No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me.
I don't want to agree to that right now. That man just bought me and my told me I did it. So I feel that was pressure right there. I wanted to speak immediately.
You what?
I said, I feel like he pressured me.
Okay. But are you wanting to talk to us now? You have that right.
Yes, I do.
Al eventually agrees to waive his rights, and the detective begins by addressing one of the first things officers and emergency services noticed about Dakota.
First of all, he had marks all over his body.
It's every day. Now, sometimes I had to, just to prevent him from hurting himself. This boy jumped out the window before. Just straight out the window. There is no stopping him. I'm afraid. I've been telling people I was afraid, but at the same time,
What?
it was nothing I can do.
And the solution is more violence?
I mean, I can understand the fact that he had marks all over his body. You'd be surprised just to sit there and watch him do it. Or just to see there and you just be like, stop, or no, or don't, and he's going to whack, he's going to bam, he's going to jump, he's going to flip, he's going to kick. We had stairs, he would kick him like that, you know what I mean? And kick him all kind of ways in the corner.
Al will explain these odd claims in greater detail shortly, but for now the detectives establish who else lived in the home. The house was actually owned by Al's girlfriend, 30-year-old Amanda Hinsey, who lived there along with her sister, 27-year-old Jennifer Jenny Ebert, and Al's 3-year-old brother. Al and Amanda began raising Al's younger brother when his mother was no longer able to care for him. Neither Amanda nor Jenny were Dakota's mother, but both would eventually speak with authorities and add twisted layers to this already troubling case.
I had to just send Dakota upstairs. I mean, the living environment, it was fine. It wasn't, it was perfect, actually. When he went up there, it didn't stink.
It was fine, come on
He
now.
had clothes, he had everything he wanted. But this is the point that I'm trying to make as a parent. This how far to go. Like, I can't get a boy a blanket. Because if I give him a blanket, now he has marks all over his body from him pissing on himself and wrapping around his own blanket.
Investigators would soon take a closer look at Dakota's living situation, and what they find couldn't be further from Al's description of perfect.
Anytime that I put my hands on him, it was to keep him from hurting himself. And I mean, far as I wouldn't beat him with anything, I would just grab him and like, hey, enough's enough, like arms behind your back, like the police do, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Never try to do nothing out the way to him just to keep him.
Yeah, surely the
Already Al has packed his interview with a lot of information and disturbing claims. Seeking a clear understanding of what was going on, investigators brought Al's girlfriend Amanda in to speak with them.
Did they say how he died? What happened? I didn't talk to you. That's how we want to talk to you. If I sign it, do I still have the right to a lawyer? Yeah, if you want a lawyer, you can, like I said, you can stop at any time. You request an attorney.
After clarifying, Amanda agrees to speak with them, but has one more question before they begin.
And where my sister's at? Yeah, she's, we just put her in a different room.
Bipolar and ADHD depression, and she's not all there. She's got a learning disability, so I'm not sure she's alright.
She's not all there, like,
She has a learning disability. She's a top notch.
I'm just trying to undermine her.
She's never had a job. My time to take care of her.
tell me about Dakota.
He's a lot of
I mean, just kind of tell me about him. I don't know anything about him.
Well, when we first got together, he was fighting for custody of him in Wisconsin. That's how we met. He got overnight business with him, and he was a good kid. He bounced around foster home. Then after probably a few years after we got custody, we moved here in 2014. He went to school at Horseman. He had a lot of behavior problems. He hurt me with a knife one time, so I took all the knives away.
Let me ask you this. He stayed upstairs?
Did he stay up there?
He stayed up there, right? When you were talking about him pooping and peeing and everything up there.
Yeah.
Like, locked up there?
No, we never locked him up there.
Despite this claim, Al and Amanda don't appear to be on the same page when it comes to what went on in the attic.
So who goes in there?
But put the handcuffs, huh?
Upstairs.
No, we leave it locked because it leaks. No, it's off limits.
So why is there urine and stuff up there?
Our dogs go up there sometimes.
And pee in buckets? You guys train your dog to pee in buckets?
There's no buckets up there.
Yeah,
There's a swimming
urine
pool
in there.
There shouldn't be no buckets in there.
No, so any dog would do that, bro.
In the attic, investigators found a small, barren room that smelled strong. There were no working lights, but there was a bucket, the pools Amanda mentioned, and a yellow stool with 2 of the legs missing. This stool would become sickeningly relevant as Al's interrogation continued. Investigators also noted there was what appeared to be smeared on the attic walls, a large clear plastic tarp, and a shower curtain that both appeared to have feces all over them, and a green cot that resembled a lawn chair. It was later determined that this was Dakota's bed. Curiously, investigators noticed right away that the home was filled with images of Al, Amanda, Jenny, and Al's little brother, but not one picture showed Dakota. While these discoveries were unsettling, they were nothing compared to what Al would eventually reveal.
But the thing is, like, when I did have counselors speak to him, he would play them so slick to the point where it'd be like, you know, he's all good and golden. Like, they wouldn't believe the stories that I tell them. You know what I mean? For me to tell somebody that he's getting it in like that, I mean, and he didn't have to do it. It's not something that we forced upon him or anything like that. Like, if I would give him ice cream and a couple of cigarettes, not that I ever gave him, but just speaking in general, like, he would do anything in the world. You know what I mean? Anything in the world that you ask him, only when he get his way. He was a bully.
Even during the 911 call, Al made similar remarks to the dispatcher.
You said he has medical history. What kind of medical history does he have?
I mean, just mental behavior. See, he just hurts himself all the time. He wake up, don't get a break, slam his head.
I understand. Okay.
It never ends.
He got suspended, so where's he going to school?
He was going to Horseman. He's been homeschooled for the last 2 years.
Who's homeschooling him?
I was. Yep.
Why do you have to think about that?
My lip hurt. I'm just like, you know, I've been up for 3 days. As I'm telling you, I still haven't
There's something PC going on in
been
here.
to sleep. So I'm doing my best.
Once again, Al and Amanda's stories are not aligning.
So where does he go to school now?
He's homeschooled.
By who?
Me. I give homework assignments. I usually print them off the library, and then I give them to my sister to get to him, and he reads his books and all that.
While Al claims Dakota was being homeschooled for the past 2 years because he'd been suspended, investigators eventually spoke with some of the teachers at the Horace Mann Elementary School, and they painted a very different picture of not only Dakota, but Al as well. His principal didn't recall Dakota having any behavioral problems.
I would say a well-rounded student here at school, friendly, helpful. He wanted to just kind of please people, so anything that he can do to help out, he will volunteer.
Investigators asked one of his teachers if Dakota would act out in the ways that Al claimed.
Dakota, I never saw anything like that whatsoever. Dakota would usually separate himself from all the other students, sometimes the other adults, and just kind of stand and cry, for that matter. I never personally saw him do anything where he would harm himself. He was a very emotional child. I wouldn't say he was necessarily violent in any way. He would definitely get down on himself and be really sad. He did tend to cry quite a bit, but I mean, he was one of the sweetest children. He loved to make people laugh and just happy-go-lucky all the time.
However, as shared by the school nurse, the staff also noticed concerning things about Dakota.
What I do remember is that he was very thin, and I know that people on breakfast would give him extra food and stuff like that, because he was always hungry, and that oftentimes we would wash his clothes because he had a strong smell of urine all the time. So he would stay in the clinic, and I had extra clothes he would wear while I washed his clothes and put it back on, and I know Dad didn't like that.
And they had to take care of that instead of that.
We were washing his clothes, but, I felt bad for the poor kid.
As far as Al's claim that he began homeschooling Dakota because he'd been suspended, the school's principal expressed an entirely different account of events.
Dakota had an accident on himself, needed to get changed. Dad was aware of that and was upset. I don't want my son going to the clinic. I'm tired of you all questioning my son. That was over the phone. And then I know when he came in, I saw Dad face to face, and that was right before he was withdrawn from school, before Dakota was withdrawn from school. And Dad said he was pulling him out because he was upset with us in regards to calling children's services and questioning his son. And he didn't want him here anymore.
Members of the school's staff had told
Children's
services on multiple occasions, but it seemed that those reports went nowhere as Dakota was soon withdrawn to be homeschooled. It's clear that there's a disconnect with how Al describes his 10-year-old son and what his teachers recall. But the question is, why would a father depict his own child so negatively? Horrifically, Al is only getting warmed up and will soon make his most unsettling and shocking claims yet.
I want to talk about today. You said you haven't been to sleep, is that right?
I still haven't. I'm out.
Okay. So what happened when he woke up this morning then?
He never went to sleep.
Okay. So then what happened? What's been going on since 6 a.m. this morning?
So 6 a.m. this morning, I look at the camera. I see him plunging on his table. His chair. I don't think nothing about it. I'm just like, he's doing his normal weird thing. So sometimes I felt like ignorance was the best answer because he was basically just seeking attention at any cost. You know what I mean? Any cost. He's been dealing with this since he was younger. He's been in the system since he was 2 years old. Anytime he didn't have his way, he'd make sure CPS show up at the house.
Okay, so keep on with it.
And he would tell him just anything. The most outlandish thing. And
then, do you ever think why CPS saw?
This, that, and the third.
The next part of Al's story is stomach-churning, making it clear that the horrific reveals have only just begun.
I'll get up around, say about 8 o'clock, go get him his breakfast and stuff like that. So I go up there, and he's laying on his tarp, and he got it in his butt. I'm like, what the hell do you think you're doing? I say, pull it out right now. He wants to get the wrestling, and you know what I mean? Either way.
I don't know what you mean because I don't live in your house. So.
Well, he want to get wrestling and aggressive. Like, he don't want me to take it out of him, and he don't want me to have it, period. So I grab it out. Yup. And it started dripping. So put him in the shower. I put him in the bathtub, and I tried to clean it up and look at it to see if it was worth me taking him to the ER right away. But to the eye,
He saw blood and didn't want to take him to ER.
Doctor, it didn't look that bad. So I'm just thinking.
What did you see?
Just like blood, because I checked it out afterwards. I'm like, whoa, let me see. And she did, and it was a little swollen.
Okay. You didn't see any injuries or anything?
Not too heavy. I see his legs and his arms and all that, but I see that every day.
The detectives will dive deeper into the details of Al's claims, but for now they let him continue with his disturbing story. Al says that
what is this story?
After bathing him,
no one would believe this.
He sent Dakota upstairs.
I'm sitting on the couch and he's like, Dad, help.
What time was this when you heard him say Dad, help?
I can't tell you exactly. I ain't had no clock in front of me.
Approximately. Was it?
I haven't been asleep in 3 days. The time I'm pretty bad off right now when it comes down to the time.
Okay. So was it
I know it was
long before you called the police or shortly before you called the police?
Once he said Dad, help, I called the police 5 minutes later.
Okay.
Less than that.
Okay.
Just enough to rinse him off.
He's upstairs and he said Dad, help?
Yep.
And you come downstairs, you come upstairs?
Yep.
And what happens when you're upstairs? He's talking to you.
So why is he not making eye contact at all?
Yep, he was talking to me, and then he just quit talking to me.
Upstairs?
Yep, but he was going like this. It's like, help. So I go up there to help him out, and he got some stuff coming out his mouth. You know what I mean?
Maybe there are 2 detectives in there.
In my head, I'm thinking automatically.
Al then describes helping Dakota down the stairs to go back into the bathroom.
Is he still talking?
No, not much. So but he's still moving. His eyes is looking at me. He's doing his normal thing.
His eyes are looking at you? Mm-hmm. Okay, what's his normal thing?
You know, just the freak out that I was telling you about, you know, the freak show.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But this only happens when he's out a lot of options.
Did he have clothes on?
Did he have clothes on at the time?
Yeah. What was he wearing?
No, he didn't have no clothes on. And the reason I didn't give him no clothes is because if I give him clothes, he's going to spoil them right away.
Amanda is also asked about the issue of Dakota's clothing.
What is their mentality? What?
He had jeans and khaki pants and t-shirts. I had to throw 99% of them out.
What did he have left?
He only had a couple pairs left until I
Where
got
were
him some
they?
more. They were in his room.
And the room where all the toddler clothes were?
Yes.
Last
that's
time
where
I
all the
checked,
clothes
were
were.
toddler size.
I kept all the clothes there.
Yet when investigators finished with a thorough search of the house, they didn't find any clothing that would have fit Dakota. As upsetting as this is, it's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the horror that Dakota endured.
So I just wanted to make sure before I wasted the authorities' time that he was not playing around. So I'm like, you know, it's normal. You feel me? Because usually I could be like, you stop right now. I mean, like right now, or really not scare him. Or I'll just be like, maybe I'll take your dinner away tomorrow. Wouldn't do that. But as a dad, I gotta come up with something to try to make a person think that you're serious.
After realizing that it actually was serious, Al says that he finally called 911. Though the detectives are still trying to make sense of Al's story, he changes the subject to ask them a noteworthy question.
Am I the only one being charged here?
I don't think anybody's been charged yet.
Okay, I'm just asking. I don't know what's going on. You hear me?
Since Al has inquired about it,
So he already knows
anyone
he's
else
going
possibly
to...
being charged, the detectives
going to
follow his
jail?
train of thought.
Who else was home today when this was all going on?
Nobody that I was aware of. The house
Nobody's
is
been
pretty
home all
big.
day?
Mm-mm.
The house is pretty big?
Yeah, nobody that I was aware of was home.
And Amanda wasn't there?
Not that I'm aware of. I've been
Jennifer
sitting there
wasn't
so
there?
long. Me and Jenny never talked.
Why not?
Just because. There ain't no drama. That's like my girlfriend's sister, so try to keep it short.
She lives with you. She helps take care of your children, right?
Yeah.
In her interview, Amanda explains where she and Jenny were that afternoon when Al was trying to resuscitate Dakota.
So tell me what happened today.
I woke up around 1 p.m. and I left. I grabbed my sister and go make some errands to get to the bank before they closed. I had to put some money in the bank. And I made a couple other errands, and then I got back home, and the cops were there. They didn't tell me anything that was going on. Al came out and said Dakota was unresponsive, and he had to call the ambulance. That's all I know.
By the time Amanda and Jenny arrived back at the house, Al was already on the porch and Dakota was being rushed to the hospital. There may be a very good reason Amanda was in a rush to get out of the house, but she wouldn't be confronted about it just yet.
Did you get by Walgreens too?
Yep, stopped at Walgreens, stuff, my friend.
This seemingly insignificant detail will actually be crucial to help decipher how much Amanda actually knew. With Al and Amanda sharing vastly different recollections about Dakota, investigators turn to the third adult in the home, Jenny, hoping she may share some insights. Her testimony would prove to be exactly what they were looking for, but what she has to share is far more harrowing than anyone can imagine.
I'm not going down. I'm not going down because I don't care. She can hate me all she wants. She can care now. She doesn't care. I don't care.
Somewhat ironically, Jenny is wearing a shirt that says, "I'd help, but I don't want to."
Let's start with again. Okay. Tell me what
Really?
does it?
Well, I moved down here 3 years ago. And, well, I moved down here because I had to take care of the boys. And that was the whole deal, that I take care of the house and the boys, and he'd buy my dog food or whatever in the house and do all that. So, well, I can't.
You're okay, honey. Take a breath.
I'm going to tell everything. I just told my house and my dog first. I'm not going down for this no more.
Okay.
Because they always said if anything happens, we're all going down. Well, I'm not going down as much as they are. I'm tired.
Somebody told you all were going down for it? Who?
Amanda.
Amanda told you all were going to go
I'm
down for it?
going down for what?
Okay.
When they get to the topic of Dakota, Jenny's reaction is markedly different than her sister and Al's.
I can't do this. Can you give me a second? Just
Yeah. Take your time.
But he was in that room downstairs, and then he was misbehaving because he was pooping everywhere. He could use the bathroom anytime, whatever, like a normal child. But he would refuse to use the bathroom and use it himself every night and everything. And first he started spanking him, putting him in the corner. Then it escalated from there. And then he would start punching him, kicking him, elbowing him in the gut, smacking him across the head and everything. And then he recently started using a taser on him. And then we got this metal spatula or whatever that he used to beat him with.
Back with Al, the detectives ask about something else unsettling that they noticed in the home.
So you watched on the camera?
I was, yes.
Okay. How come we couldn't see that view of the camera when we were there?
That I don't know.
When investigators entered the attic, they found a dismantled camera on the floor.
Did you unplug it before you called the police?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
It just odd to me that we couldn't see that view that you keep.
It works sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
It's a 24-hour job, though.
Right.
So
Like I
what are you working in
said,
24 hours?
sometimes it works, sometimes it
And
don't.
sometimes you don't want
I
what?
do the best I can. I can't keep punching him for 24 hours.
In her
It's a technology, bruh.
interview, Jenny explains a bit more about the surveillance system set up in the home.
So there was a camera upstairs? Yeah. They kept a camera up there while he was in the attic?
To watch him.
Is that stuff recorded? What is it, live? So you can only watch what's going on?
Why exactly Dakota was being watched at all times wouldn't be fully explained until later. For now, Al continues to lament his situation.
I done had social services at my house maybe 40, 50 times. I done had You know what I mean? So for me to bring him to the doctor like, oh, he cracked his nugget again, and social services already told me the only way they're going to take him is if they charge me with something, like neglect, or it's not, I can't do this. Can y'all please help me?
Earlier in his interview, Al made a similar claim about contacting outside services for help with Dakota.
I called the police. The police told me he was being unruly, and that when he got a little older, they'll be able to, put him in some type of
And he's handcuffed again.
juvenile center. And I mean, this is the day after he jumped out the window. I mean, I'm traumatized every day. It's a new show.
Al actually did contact the police for help with Dakota on November 18th, 2018. Al told the police that when he tried to put Dakota to bed, he started cussing at him and Amanda, told them he just wanted to be disrespectful, and had been going to the bathroom on the floor. When officers arrived, Al told them that he wanted them to take Dakota to the Juvenile Justice Center. Instead, Officer Thames placed Dakota in handcuffs and escorted him to the backseat of his cruiser. The officers noted that Dakota was limping because he'd been injured when he apparently jumped out of the attic window the night before. When asked why he wasn't wearing a cast even though he'd been taken to the hospital, Al said Dakota cut it off. The officers never mentioned in their report if they entered the home, or if they asked Dakota for his side of the story before they left. Al wasn't the only one to contact the police. On May 14th, 2019, about 7 months before Dakotah's mother also called the authorities.
Hi, I need to speak with somebody about doing a welfare check on my son, who I believe is in danger right now. And I don't know how you guys do things or how it works or anything, but I believe that his father is abusing him and hurting him, and that he's too scared to tell anybody because his father won't let him talk to anybody. He pulled him out of school. So if you guys need my permission, I'm giving you guys full permission to pull him to the side and speak with him without his father present.
Robin explained that Al had full custody of Dakota.
I did not know where he was living because he was supposed
She knows something.
to be living in Erie, Pennsylvania. Thank God that he caught a drunk driving in Dayton, Ohio, and now I have his address. Locked him in his room. He tried to jump out a window. He sent him to school in a diaper. He pulled him out of school. A bunch of stuff that's very concerning to me.
Okay, and you.
Yes,
Okay,
I definitely do. Just the way that he's talking to him on the phone, telling him how angry he is with him, and how if I don't come and get him, something's going to happen, and he's going to take him to a group home and drop him off, and how when he acts up, how he just lock him in the room, and just very demeaning and very vulgar. I don't really know if he's telling the truth or not, but even if he's not, I would feel much better knowing that a police officer pulled my son to the side and talked to him one-on-one to make sure that nothing is going on.
Following Robin's call, officers were dispatched. They reported that Al wouldn't let them inside the house, but spoke to them through the screen door. Al even brought Dakota to the front door. The officers noted that he was properly dressed but didn't speak very much. When he did, they said he was soft-spoken and polite, and answered their questions by saying yes ma'am or no ma'am. The officers also wrote in their report that Dakota gave no indication that someone was troubling him, and they couldn't see any injuries through
No indication.
the screen door. However, they didn't speak
Said police work.
to him one-on-one as Robin had requested. Once again, the police left Dakota with his father without further investigation. The detectives now speaking with Al returned to one of his more disturbing claims.
So your story, I just want to go back to this too. You said this morning, first thing this morning, I think you said around 6 a.m. on the camera, you noticed he was plunging himself, I think was your word?
Yep.
So he is,
But I wasn't quite sure because the light was off.
okay, so like, there was like a yellow stool thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
He
so,
must have snapped it off because last time I checked, it was still connected inside of the thing.
and that's what he was plunging?
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe what you mean by plunging to me?
All right, so look. He had, a chair like this.
Right.
You take the back off. That's going to sit flat on the ground.
Okay.
And I seen him going like this, you hear me? I wasn't telling it. I wasn't
So
able to tell.
that's what you're saying he's doing?
Yep, but here's the thing. I wasn't able to tell if that's what he was going
What?
or if he was just taking another. Because every night he'll get up, he'll do stuff like this. And just, slam it and scream. Ah!
When speaking with Jenny, the detectives also asked about the stool leg.
There was part of like a stool or something. What was going on with that?
DNA test steps. Yeah.
With his legs wide open because I don't know the whole reason.
He would sit on it when it was part of the chair?
Yeah, when it was all the way together. Because he wouldn't stand still with his legs crossed, hands behind his head. And then you brought that home one day and made him sit on it.
Though this is a passing comment about Dakota standing with his legs crossed and hands behind him, it would come up again later. For the time being, they focused on finding out more about the stool leg.
Did you see Al with this, like one of the legs today?
He hid it behind the dresser in the living room. One part of it, and then the other one was in the sink in the bathroom.
Investigators found the two broken stool legs, one behind the TV and the other in a laundry basket outside the bathroom.
So how far in was it?
I can't say. That's the thing. I don't know.
You don't know?
Because I ripped it out so quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so
that's
then he
just
started
inappropriate.
squirting blood everywhere?
Not much. It was just like just a little bit here, a little bit there.
When Jenny gave her account of what happened that day, she had a troublingly different version of events. She says that first thing in the morning, Dakota was stumbling when he came down for breakfast, and that when he was using the bathroom, Al elbowed him in the back.
Started beating on him, and then he turned in the bathtub, and it sounded like he was drowning him. So he was talking to him and telling him he was going to drown him, and it sounded like that because all I heard was splashing because he wouldn't clean his shorts because he came down wet this morning. And he took him back upstairs and threw him around. Then he made him lay on his stomach, hands behind the back, and stepped on him. And then he made him lay in the bed, and he was laying on his side, and then he was at the back of him. I don't know what he was doing out there. I couldn't see. And then he threw him back off the bed, drug him a little bit up from, and then, you know,
Jenny said after this, she went into her room.
I got woken up by Amanda crying and freaking out. And that's when we left. Because Dakota wasn't breathing.
This is a completely different timeline than the one both Al and Amanda shared. Jenny also reveals more about why she and Amanda left the house to run errands and go to Walgreens.
Do you know what she wanted to talk to her friend at Walgreens about?
I think just to get advice of what to do, but she didn't. All her friend said was don't run because I'd look bad. Because she didn't tell her exactly what was going on.
Despite Amanda's initial claim that she didn't know anything was wrong with Dakota, it seems like she knew a lot more than she's letting on. In fact, Jenny claimed that Amanda was the one who told Al to call 911
literally lying.
in the first place, after realizing Dakota wasn't breathing. Yet in her interview, Amanda continues to feign ignorance about what happened.
Explain to me what all these marks are on Dakota.
What marks?
The marks all over his body.
From jumping out the window or what?
No,
I don't look at him. I don't know.
These marks on his body.
I don't, he's 10, I don't look at his body. I have no idea.
Like marks on his face. You never noticed the marks on his face?
I didn't see him this morning. I haven't seen him.
Or maybe there's a big cut that's on his, like around his foot?
Mm-hmm.
You never noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
Despite Amanda's denials, Jenny continues to divulge increasingly harrowing details.
Did Dakota take a beating last night? Is that why he was so disoriented today?
He could have, but I went to bed early because I have to get up early.
So it's fair to say maybe he did, maybe he didn't last night.
Right.
Okay. But he gets beat on every day.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's unusual when you don't.
Okay. And did you ever try to take him to the doctor or get him medical help or anything?
No.
Can you explain that to me a little bit?
I don't know how. I tried, but he would come up with an excuse saying Dakota is crazy and he does self-harm and everything, so he just comes up with excuses. That's what.
Jenny's claim here sounds concerningly similar to everything Al has been telling detectives in his interrogation. While this is worrying, her next revelation adds another heartbreaking element to this devastating case.
Did he kind of confide in you? Did he find you as a safe person?
Sometimes I told him not to talk to me. I didn't want to hear stuff. I know how bad that sounds out loud.
Back in Al's interrogation, his statements are just as callous.
Are you saying that you don't feel bad?
No, he's not saying that. I mean, I don't say that because I don't think I killed my child. I feel bad that he's not with me. But I'm more concerned with what's going on. What was the cause?
What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, who did it? Yeah, maybe somebody else did it. We never know.
The detectives decide to take a quick break from speaking with Al. When they return, they confront him about his own past.
We were looking at your history. It looked like you had a couple things going on.
All small stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like the child endangering. What was that?
My child was, I went to my baby mama house. I didn't even have custody of kids. I went to sleep at night at my baby mother house. Our kids was 3 and 4 years old. And one of them unlocked the door and went outside. And they was in their diapers playing in the front yard. And that's what it was about. My mom took kids for a day or two and gave them right back to me.
Al actually has 3 sons, with Dakota being the youngest. As unsettling as this is, Al soon adds another sickening detail to his account, one that
That's concerning.
he previously withheld until this point.
The only thing I probably did, or hold him down to keep everything else, I don't know nothing about. That I did.
Yeah?
Yes, I
I
did.
know you did.
Yep.
And why did you do that?
Just try to get me to quit cracking on himself. Yep, my daddy gave me like that when I was little. When I used to suck my thumb, he put some hot sauce on, I ain't put it in my mouth no more.
So you think
Maybe it burned, because here's the thing, he would try to sit in it for so long to where it built up and just destroyed his skin.
While Al signs a consent form to
So
allow the
he's just admitting, huh?
detective to take a buckle swab, he asks about what Amanda and Jenny are sharing in their version of events.
So you telling me they saying that I'll be... Is that what they're saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's very inaccurate.
Your hand, you don't use anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Just your hand?
Yep. And that's rarely that, because he was thinking so damn bad that if I touch him, then I'm going to smell for days.
Just minutes later, Al once again changes his story, making it unclear when, if at all, he's telling the truth.
What were you thinking with?
A spatula?
A spatula?
Yep. It was flat.
He's just changing stories left and right,
What
bro.
is this here?
That's a rash. That's from his nastiness. Just a rash. Laying in his piss every day, age back up.
No, that's not.
That, I don't know what that is. I thought it was a rash. I've been seeing it for weeks. I actually thought it was a rash.
Maybe you took him to the doctor, you would know.
What could I have done to cause that? What causes
Drag
that?
him?
Drag him where?
Down the steps?
No, ma'am.
On
No,
the
ma'am.
carpet?
No, ma'am. We don't have any carpet. I did not drag him.
Just as they've been doing with Al, the detectives continue to confront Amanda with the undeniable images of Dakota's countless injuries.
So you never noticed, you never realized he had these marks all over his body, on his arms, on his hands. You never noticed that stuff?
I'm usually home. I usually leave.
That's something stupid. Okay, because I really
He just lips. What?
Comments are stupid. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to a kid that lost his life. So this is your chance to explain this to us, because you're not stupid. Okay, you can kind of play like you are, but you're not stupid. So let's discuss how this happened to him.
I don't
You do this to him? Did you do this to him?
No,
Were you beating on him?
No.
Okay, who was?
I don't know. I wasn't
You
there.
know.
I wasn't there.
Come on, but you're still not stupid.
I never touched him. I never surrounded him.
I thought you homeschooled him.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Never touch him? Okay.
You never noticed that this kid was probably miserable his entire 10 years, or at least the time that this has been going on, because this didn't just happen.
Though Amanda isn't providing any answers, in her interview, her sister Jenny is clarifying some of the details Al and Amanda didn't agree on.
So he did pretty much stay up in the attic, though. Did he get locked in that room a lot? Yes.
I think the last time I came down, let's just go back to him.
There's actually more to this piece of the story, but Jenny wouldn't explain it just yet. When she does, it sheds an entirely new light on the horrendous conditions Dakota lived in. Perhaps without realizing it, Jenny also clarified the reason behind one of the more disturbing accusations Al made about Dakota's behavior.
I guess one night he was pooping upstairs and he ate it. So I don't know what was the deal with all that.
Like he would have gotten in trouble if he had
If there was,
with it?
yeah, he would. I guess that's what they said. What he said. What Dakota said, I should say. That he eats it, yeah.
While Al and Jenny have slowly been painting an appalling picture of Dakota's daily suffering, Amanda has been less than helpful. In her interview, things are about to take a turn.
So let's get back to this. So today a 10-year-old who is going to be 11 very soon, is that correct?
Stacy.
Lost his life somehow. And has marks all over him that couldn't be self-inflicted. So I'd like to know how that happened.
What's up, please?
With Amanda refusing to speak, the investigators have Al run through the day's events once more, and this time around
Okay, that
includes new unsettling details about the second time he brought Dakota to the bathroom.
And he was in the water going like this, and you know what I mean, shaking and jumping, but I didn't have to hold him down or dump him in the water. Yeah, so he was laying on his side doing this, and then he just putting on the show again. You know what I mean?
He puts on a show like he's having a seizure?
Oh yeah, 24/7, like this.
Are you sure he's putting on a show? I mean, he has been to the hospital.
Yes, ma'am. It was not a seizure because look, I can tell him like, stop it right now. Here's the sucker many times, and he would be like, okay, Dad, thanks, my sucker. You know, it was just a show.
Al's disregard for the seriousness of the situation continues, as he seems only capable of focusing on himself.
Like I said, it really shocked me today. I was still shocked. This is gonna be the rest. I'm gonna be in prison for the rest of my life because of this right here. This is my child.
it's all about him, huh?
Where are you going to be in prison?
I mean, I'm the man. I'm the only parent. I'm responsible. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to teach him a lesson, but not in the physical aspect.
You taught him a lesson.
It took his life. And I am very sorry. I mean that. It kills me. You hear me? To know that water did that, and then my attitude. I ain't gonna lie, I did get out of control at times, but not that often. And I thought he would snap back from it. You know what I mean? From his ass whooping.
With Jenny, the detectives dive into some of the other things that went on in the house that Al didn't address.
Hey, I have a question. There was like a dog leash or something hanging in the living room.
Oh, that's toy, because he has a boxing set, and we hang it from that, and he likes to punch on it.
While this may seem like a reasonable answer, investigators were deeply concerned when they found a dog leash hanging from a screw above the couch. When Al was asked about the leash before his interrogation, he claimed Dakota
literally hanging.
was the one who hung a punching bag from it to get his energy out, not Al's younger brother, as Jenny says. Regardless, Dakota's autopsy would reveal injuries that put both of these answers in question.
Is there anything at all that you can think of abuse to Dakota, or anything at all that you can think of that you haven't told us that could help us in this investigation?
Sometimes, like I see him, not like his knees on his chest and his hands on his throat.
As Al's interrogation wraps up, he once again focuses on himself.
I had a question though. If I don't know, man. I'm afraid for my life. Yeah. I'm hurt that my child is gone. It's unbelievable. Like going, not coming back.
You're afraid for your life?
Yes, I am.
Your life.
I'll be spending the rest of my life in prison. I'm 30 years old. I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, all because I tried to raise my child the right way and he became
Only me?
to a situation. But we in Ohio. It is, ain't it?
What are you thinking is death penalty?
They just changed the law.
Still looking at that, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
They decide to leave Al, but before they go, he makes another plea.
Please, y'all, please don't do it to me.
Just hang on real quick, okay?
I'm only 30, please.
Both Jenny and Amanda were allowed to leave the police station. Before she goes, the investigators attempt to find a way to remain in contact with Jenny, a feat that gives some insight into the dynamics of the house.
Do they keep the phones from you?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to have a phone, the internet or phone or whatever.
Why is that? You're a grown-ass woman.
Right, because apparently I tell my secrets.
Is that what they say?
Pretty much, but I can't keep my mouth shut.
Though she doesn't have a phone, Jenny promises to stay in contact with the detectives as the investigation continues, and she'll soon reveal even more on things Dakota endured. Before Al is taken to jail, investigators make sure to photograph the injury he sustained when officers had to restrain him earlier.
Go ahead and stand up real quick for me. Please step on. No, turn around, face me. Okay. No, look at me first. There you go. Take your look. What's your name? Hold on. It's coming up pretty bad.
A few minutes later, they return again.
All right, man. Go stand up. Put your hands on your back.
We're gonna take you to the ballot, get you checked out. All right? You tell me what I'm being charged with. Right now, murder. Yes. I planned it. What's up? That means I planned it or something? No, I didn't say you planned it. Anybody else being charged?
Once at the hospital, Al was overheard speaking to himself, and police reports state
Oh,
that
he's the only one in the room. What do you mean?
said at least 7 times out loud that, quote, he must have drowned because I did not beat his ass that bad today. Investigators also had the heartbreaking task of informing Robin, Dakota's mother.
That's possible. He definitely had a lot of injuries. Did Al make comments to you?
Yes, he did.
What did
he comment about how he beat him with a belt because his son was gay, and about how I will never see him again. All types of stuff. I stopped answering the phone because it was just nothing but traumatizing for me and my son. I went to social services. I told them that he was going to kill him. I told him he removed him from school, he removed him from people he cared about, and he is beating him on a daily basis, that it was only a matter of time before he killed my son. I told them that. I told them that. And look at what happened.
After a few moments, Robin recovers and asks about the other people involved in the case.
Where's that Amanda? Where is she? Where is she?
Amanda. Tell me about Amanda.
She's a no good piece of. How could a woman stand there and allow him to beat on that baby like that? How? Is she claims she loved him?
I'm so sorry, Robin.
I haven't seen him since he was 5.
Yeah, she's actually evil too, huh? No surprise
I'm gonna do everything in my
there.
power to get justice for Dakota, okay?
Yeah, because if you don't, I'm going to kill him with goddamn stuff. You know, you do that to a little baby. You're just a baby.
I know.
You guys have the death penalty down there?
Yes, we do. This is still under investigation, okay?
Amanda had remained steadfast during her interview, and even after Al was arrested, she stayed in close contact with him. They spoke over the phone and recorded jail calls discussing the case.
They're trying to see if they have enough to indict me. I got a $100 million bond.
Oh, $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million bond. And what are they charging me with?
It's at 4 counts.
Right. And out here, they give you a lot of time for that. And the only time I ever did anything is always try to get him to control himself. That's the story. Stick to it. You always got to be my witness. That boy voice is going.
I'm going to be there for you.
If Dakota was alive, he could speak for me.
I know.
But you're my voice. My only voice.
Do they not know it's recording?
They
What?
mostly reassured each other. Al also occasionally reminisced about Dakota.
But I was just thinking about his last days. He kissed me on both sides of my face. Told me he loved me. Remember when he went to go get the hair dryer?
Yeah.
So like that, Daddy, I love you. Daddy, I love you. I love you, Daddy.
However, the couple also discusses the third person involved in the case, Jenny.
So Jenny free too?
Yeah, they let her out first.
Right. No worries. You hear me? Like I said, just you make sure you inform somebody of that girl mental condition.
I told them that she's got bipolar and ADHD. When they put her on the stand Monday, she's not going to be able to handle it.
Yeah, I don't think so, bro.
Too crazy.
Right. I'm already hit.
This wasn't the only time they discussed Jenny. It seems they learned she had shared far more than they did with police. During another call, they attempt to speak in code.
So Jenny says she's trying to take me down, huh? But yep, that dog don't shut up. Got to go. So try to tame it the best you can.
I've been every day been telling that dog to stop barking.
Right. It won't stop.
Just bark over me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we be getting that new barking collar. And remember, talk to the dog. About the beeping collar and all that. Let that dog know it's very important. You hear me? No. That he stay quiet.
While it's unclear what exactly happened after this call, when Jenny came to speak with police again a few days after her first interview, she made some dramatic changes to her story.
Is there anything else you think we should know? Did anything else come up?
Not really. Just, I know Dakota pretty much did this, like, he didn't do it mainly to himself, but he always, like, because Al doesn't abuse him, he just disciplined him. He just, like, I didn't.
Okay, let me stop you real quick. I know that Amanda's manipulating
No,
you.
she has not.
Okay, that
No,
Yes,
she is
she
not.
is.
No,
changes real quick, huh?
she's not. I'm telling you, retelling you what is going on. Why would Amanda tell me things to say?
Because your
It's just
story
not
has consistently changed every
Yeah,
time.
I could, but I could remember some stuff too.
Jennifer, you're about to get caught in a trick bag. We have jail calls. We had conversations between Al and Amanda where they're telling you that you're a dog and you need to get that dog to shut the fuck up.
Yes,
That
it's not
dog
working.
talk. All right, we have jail calls. So all you're doing right now is you're lying to
Yeah, so dumb.
individuals. That's what's happening.
And I
right
think she probably still with it. Okay? What can we do to help you, Jennifer? I know she's your sister, but she is not a good person.
While Jenny may have shut down for now, she would speak to police one more time, and when she did, she didn't hold anything back. Before she did, though, Amanda and Al continued to speak in recorded jail calls. This time, they discussed.
He said that his autopsy came back at cardiac arrest.
Heart to stop.
Yeah.
Right.
It happens to over 2,000 kids a year.
Yeah, they're just enjoying, police are just enjoying the show, huh?
Ages of 10 and 19.
Right. But I know I can't do life in prison over this.
Though it's unclear where exactly Amanda heard this information about Dakota's death, it wasn't accurate. In fact, his autopsy revealed the horrific extent of his injuries, and is nothing short of brutal. Dakota. Many of the injuries were considered to be indefensible. Way to the bone. On his back, there was a type of branding of 4 letters, beginning with the letter T. The most significant injury was severe of neck muscle directly over the spine. This kind of injury is typically only seen in immersion. By the time Jenny came in for her third interview, she was once again ready to speak. This time, she revealed more details about something she only mentioned in passing previously, the strange positions Dakota had to stand in. She stated that the surveillance system was set up so that they could watch Dakota all day, because Al forced him to stand in specific punishment positions the entire time he was upstairs.
I'm going to get up and show you stuff that Dakota's supposed to do. So he's supposed to stand like this, with his, sometimes hands behind his head, sometimes behind his back. So if he goes like this, or like just uncrosses them, that freaks out. And then I know this is really weird, but another thing, he's supposed to go like this, and he's supposed to bend over, just like this, and then have his hands spread out like that. So, yeah, and if he's not doing that, I have to tell Al, and that's
Like all the time while he's up there, so he's not touching anything?
Yeah.
So for like hours, he's supposed to be doing that?
Until 7 in the morning till about sometimes 3, 4 in the morning.
It's almost 24 hours. Well, 20 hours, essentially.
That he's just supposed to stand there either with his legs crossed and over?
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
I guess that was supposed to make him start listening, get things through his head that he's stopped going to the bathroom on himself. I don't know.
As truly horrifying as this new information is, Jenny made another shocking claim.
He just likes getting into trouble is what he always said.
Who always said?
Dakota. He always been like that ever since, I don't know how long, but he always said he just likes getting into trouble.
Is this your way of thinking where he was acting up, or is this what Al says? Like he keeps acting up. Like where are you getting that that's acting out for him?
That's what Dakota always says.
Dakota would say what?
That he likes he does it just to get his beatings, and he just, I guess he always, I don't know, he just always said that he.
Okay, what?
I always ask him why he does it, and he always says, because I like getting my beatings, I just, stuff like that. Yeah, he always said that, or when I asked him.
Following this interview, both Amanda and Jenny were arrested for child endangerment. Despite now being behind bars, Amanda still found a way to continue communicating with Al. During a jail call with her mother, Amanda set up how they would stay in contact.
I ain't been on the kiosk yet. As soon as I get on there, I'm going to send a message for you to send to him.
Amanda sent her mother messages intended for Al, who would then pass them to Al. When he replied, Amanda's mother would send them back to her daughter. That way, they were able to stay in contact when they weren't supposed to. They were able to keep this up for a few months before Amanda's mom was warned that she would lose communication with her daughters if she continued. However, Amanda wasn't the only person Al spoke to while behind bars. One of his friends also called him.
Everywhere I go, they gonna try to kill me, bro.
Yeah, it's hard, bro.
I know, bro.
I feel for you, man. You about to have a hard day, bro.
Yo, even in the state, bro, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it's going to prepare yourself for this.
It ain't nothing like this, though.
Nah, once you get to the joint, man, it's different, man. I hope you beat the case, but it's not looking like you're going to. Man, you going straight to Madison, you're going to be in the blue suit, then you labor a sex offender for the rest of your life, man.
I'm not even worried about that. They talking about giving me life.
I know, you know what I mean? Yeah. But then you got, man, you, Amanda, and Jenny, they turned against you, bro. They about to be co-defendants against you, bro. You know that, don't you?
I mean, I can't speak on that type of situation.
It's already out there talking about you did this, you did that, you the one doing this, they terrified of you, you hear me? That's what they say. That's what the girls saying, but they trying to get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
It seems Al's friend was at least partially correct about Jenny and Amanda speaking with police, as Amanda discussed with her mom in a recorded jail call.
I got a message from my lawyer. Yeah, it's ridiculous. They're trying to say that I'm basically between Jenny and Al, and that Jenny, I don't know how we worded it, like mine is higher than Jenny's or something, which is ridiculous because Jenny was there all the time.
Why not?
And Jenny just pleaded out today.
Today, Sean's court?
I don't know if she made a plea deal. And so now with her making a plea deal, and they're trying to say I'm higher than her, mine's gonna look worse.
Amanda and Jenny's mom even spoke with investigators about her daughter's situation.
She says she will not testify against him because she loves him so much. Well, she needs to wake up.
I think that she's going to learn things about Al that she may not know. You know, Al wasn't all just about Amanda, you know, and unfortunately, I think it was a lot more one way.
While it isn't clear what changed her mind, Amanda didn't stay loyal to Al. Just like her sister, she eventually attempted to make a deal with the prosecutor.
So now they're trying to say that they don't want to offer me a deal, and I don't know.
No, maybe we can work something out.
I don't know. I told myself it's not fair. So I told myself I was in this relationship for years. I got witnesses. If somebody's got to leave, he threatened me and my family.
I mean, I know you still love him, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, I know, but now Jenny gets a deal, and I'm stuck with prison for being in a relationship.
Despite Amanda's attempts to make a deal to lessen her sentence, she eventually pled guilty to involuntary and was sentenced to a minimum of 22 years in prison. Amanda later appealed her sentence, but
Only 22?
remained behind bars
There
until
should be more years, bro.
2041. Jenny also pleaded guilty. Because she cooperated with investigators, she was sentenced to at least 8 years in prison. Al McLean pleaded. He was sentenced to 51 years to life in prison.